Season 1, Episode 17, Koppers Live Target Frog. Hey guys, it's Andrew from HookSetAngling, and today I have an awesome video for you. I was using the Koppers Live Target Frog, the hollow belly, and it's just a great frog. I picked up the smaller one because the bigger one was just a little too big for these bass, and it worked. So they just absolutely inhale it, as you can see from this bass, and it's so much fun. There's great action. As you can see, we catch lots of fish. I missed almost zero. And one time my line snapped, but that's another story. So when you're using the frog, you can either crank it, which I was basically doing the whole video, and then pop it a little bit. I cranked it, popped it, cranked it, popped it, made sure it moved tons of water on the top. Then when they hit it, you let them take it for 1 second so they can shut their mouth, and you can set the hook on them, and they'll always have it in their mouth, and the hook will be set somewhere at the top of their throat. And to unhook it, all you have to do is lip the bass and just pop the frog down and pull it out. So, and definitely when you're fishing with a frog, you really need to keep your line tight, because if they shake, the hook could pop out of the top of their mouth and spit it. Sometimes they hit the frog when it's just hitting the water. So like before it even touches the water, they see it and they can get it, and it's pretty cool. I got some really good video of the bass hitting it. And the Koppers Live Target Frog is about $6 at Bass Pro. I'd recommend you get one. You could probably get them for a better deal somewhere else, but it's really good bait, and it just produces fish. It's the best frog because I think it has the softest belly and the softest back, and it's really easy for the bass to smash, and it protrudes the hooks a lot more so you can easily set the hook into them. So that's a nice bass I caught. That was probably one of the nicest on the frog. And I just keep popping them over and over here. And this was one of the better spots. Basically, we just go look for vegetation sticking out, and there was some weed beds under the water, and we found the weed line, and we just cast at the weed line, stop the frog from moving, and then pop it a little bit on top of the weed line. The bass would come out of the weeds and come hit it. Or if you're casting far out to the submerged vegetation, like the one almost to the top right of the screen, those you could basically put the frog on top and just jerk it on top of the fish. Will sense it and feel it, the water moving on top of the weeds, and as soon as the frog pops out, they'll come and hit it. Sometimes too, when the fish come and hit it, they'll miss, and we like to stop it. But if you crank it slowly or jerk it once in a while, they'll come back and hit it, as long as you didn't set the hook on them or they didn't have it in their mouth. So here's some good zoomed in footage of the frog getting hit. The frog really did produce very well. We worked around the pond the whole time. We went all the way around the pond, and we picked up like 15 to 16 fish. And then we went back later that night, and we picked up 4 or 5 more. So this is awesome. I casted it right under the tree. The bass missed the frog. Then he came back and hit the frog again, and then I caught him. It's awesome. That was probably the most exciting fish, even though it wasn't too big, but it really did attack that frog. Most of the time, they don't really hit it like jumping up from under and jumping up and getting it in its mouth. Most of the time, they'll kind of peck at it from under and just take it under. So you got to really be watching your frog and making sure that you know where your frog is at all times, because sometimes you could have a fish and sometimes you might not, and you don't want to lose that fish. So when you're fishing with a frog, I recommend looking right at it all the time, making sure you know where it is and know what you're doing and know the action. So we're casting over in the bay, over without going over there because we don't want to spook the fish. And I think that did a lot for us because we were just casting over there. We didn't walk over there, scare all the fish away. We just casted over there, and it was like they were on the shore, and it was just like a normal frog jumping out of the water into the water. So this is later that night, and I caught that one up really close to shore, which is unnormal because usually they hit it sort of through the weeds. Thanks for watching, guys, and please subscribe.